Good evening, peeps. It's Blapps with Blapps Tark, better living and positive propaganda system, talking about real knowledge. This is episode 392. We're going to be talking about what's happening over here, what's happening over there, what's happening in the celebrity community world, and of course, we're going to end with what sparks me off. I've got a lot to get off my mind, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to get to it. Today, in over here, we're talking about Labour's problem with anti-Semitism. Over there, we're talking about why are the farmers all protesting all over the world. In celebrity community, we're going to talk about the new Bob Marley film, One Love. We're going to be chatting about in what sparks me off. I'll leave that to the end, but we're going to be talking about no, you know what? I'm going to tell you now. People who take faith over facts. That's what sparks me off today. So let's get to it. We're going to maybe wait for a few minutes while people come in. Normally my audience are my celebrity audience. So they come in, ask me questions, talk about it. It's a talk show, right? Right? So that's what we're going to do. Let's get it going. All right, so as usual, I'll start with my people. Public enema. We're going to chat about it. Right, so last week we had a problem. We had a technical issue where I didn't invite people. Well, I did invite people, actually. I put out a memo, invited them, but I invited them to this show, 14th, right? When I was supposed to invite them to last week's, the 7th. So that was my bad. Take it on the chin. I understand I'm an evil man. I heard nothing but that, about that for the whole week. As you can imagine, people were not impressed. They wanted to come in, they wanted to talk about stuff that they were interested in as well. And so you got a chance this week. I'll put it out everywhere. I've definitely got a date right this time. So if no one comes in, it's because you all hate me. I'm just going to have to accept the fact. Not right. I used to be a nice guy. But now, it's all gone. Anyway, enough of it. I enjoy myself when I come in. Okay, over here. All right. I've got creatives for you. I've done stuff this week, so I'm going to put up my old my pictures so you can enjoy what I'm seeing. So over here, we're talking about it's bad news for Labour. The anti-Semitism is, I don't know. So they've always had a problem with anti-Semitism remarks. Jeremy Corbyn sparked off 2019 around that, and he was ousted as the Labour Party leader just because of that. Literally just because of that. He's a brilliant leader, awesome, best thing for Labour, and then because of these remarks he made, and he still has not, there's nothing out there that I can see that was, you know what I mean, anti-Semitic about what he said. He's told the truth. He said what he said, and he didn't say nothing evil about them. He didn't point out anyone in particular. He just pointed out what he wanted to point out. But now, because of the conflict, the current conflict, a lot of people in the party that are Jewish are ousting people that are siding with Palestine. And because they're so fervent in their commitment to getting Israel out or stopping the conflict or getting Israel done in the UN, in the court, you know, war crimes and things like that. Is cease and desist, stop it. Warfare needs to come to an end. We're sick of it. We're battle hardened now. It's silly. You're going too far. We are now a party that wants to. We are now a country that wants to keep away from all war. But yet, the current prime minister has sidled with the UN, apparently because they're part of the UN, so they have to stick with the UN. No, they got interests over there from before the conflict, 70 odd years ago. They gave that part of the land. Yeah, you can have that. We don't need it anymore. But be our ready, in case we need you. The strategic position it is where it is. Why there? They were going to go to Africa. Did you know that? They were going to have a colonized, they were going to try to restart their nation in Africa. They just, should we go to East Africa? It says in the books, no, it won't. They were actually going to go to Africa. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, that would have been something else. But anyway, they decided on a place that is now called Palestine, and now this whole strip of land, quite small, is now the hotbed for conflict that has been going for over 2,000 years. But in the last 70 years, when they were given the land by the British for what they did for the Second World War, for the British America, it is part of their reparations package. I don't know what you want to call it, but in 68 they tried to ratify their the starting of a new nation, and it was thrown out after a day. But they decided, well, no, we're staying. We've been there 20 odd years now. We're staying, and it was crazy then that they were just okay. This is what it was decreed in our book that the God we made up, in the God we made up, the God we say is it, that this land is ours. And British they had it under their control, and they asked them, what do you want? And they said, you know what, we want that piece of land so we can repatriate, we can move all our people to that land, the Germany Jews, the Semitic Jews, the Asanaji Jews. We're going to move all our people to that place. They'll have a nation for themselves. And then British, whatever, man. It's good for us as well because, Russia's just over there. And so if we have a port there, we can always just bomb them from there or launch attacks from there. Don't tell them that. Don't tell anyone that we said that. We're just grateful for what you did. And Russia was like, you know what? I know what you're up to, UN. And I asked you if you want us to be part of the UN, and you turned us down because it is within your interest, especially after the Cold War, in your interests to have a strategic area very close to us. And you can also block off our port to our ships, which is one of the only places we have because we're landlocked. And now we're going back to 2024 now. The conflict's been raging for about 4 months. Sparked off yet again for the millionth time by apparent attack by Hamas, which, as you know how I feel about that, it was silly. I just don't accept it. This is me personally. I just don't accept it. I mean, you've got a place on the planet Earth where America, the most powerful in terms of war capability, let's put it that, has 800 odd ports and camps around the world, in every country, everywhere you can think of. They've got somewhere a military campment where they're ready to strike from anywhere they want, and the nuclear weapons can reach anywhere on the planet in minutes. They can reach. Okay, so but Israel, which is home to 10 million Jews, to which they are allied to, the rest of the 9 million that are around the world. They're mostly in America, but they're all over the joint. Okay, but there's less than 20 million of them, put it that way, on the planet. Now put it this way, there's 10 million people, probably more, living in London. And London's not much smaller than Gaza. Okay, so and they have the biggest stockade of weapons in Israel. And so when politicians are talking about my constituents want me to tell you in the House of Commons and Lords that we want to back off on this war, we know we've got strategic stuff there, but we don't care anymore. We're done with this. I've got friends that are Palestinian, and I've got friends that are Israel, Jewish, and they both want to back off on this war. Why are you still over there? What's going on? And then the Israeli, the Jewish in the parties, both parties, the Conservatives and the Labour, they both come out and say this was started by Hamas. It was nothing to do with us. And why are you coming at us like we're evil? Because we've completely destroyed everything and sent them back to the Stone Age. They will not be able to go back and build anything from there. They won't be able to strike again from there, and that's their intention. And to me, like I said before, I think Israel, we're going to find out that Israel let them in through the back fence so they could do something, so they could do retribution to their oblivion. So Israel could do retribution for the 100 or 500 or 1,000 people that Hamas managed to take and destroy. And so they could say, right, we're had enough. It's been going on for too long. You people will never stop. You don't listen. You're animals. And so therefore, you can only treat animals one way, is to take them down. And they're out of control. Take them down. And so that's what they're doing. And you've got some leaders in the UK, in our governments, that do not like it, and they're out there telling people, no, it's not great. We don't like it. So let's stop it. And they're making remarks under their breath, and like they're saying, their fellow compatriots are saying, this is not great. We don't want it, and you people are out of order, blah, 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 beep, 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 beep. And then there's, you know what he said about us people, my family back home. We can't have them working there. Can't have that. So is this bad for Labour? Is this a bad look for Labour? I want to know. Do you think it's a bad look for Labour? I personally don't think they're going to be affected. They're so far ahead of the poll that this is not going to. They'll find a few people that are saying something. They'll get their whips out. You know what I'm talking about. Don't get mucky. They'll get their whips out. You know, the people that back down, and or you stay toe the curb. Toe the line. And they'll tell the people that are out of order to shut up for a minute. let's get in power, then we'll chat about it. So no, this is not going to dissuade anyone from voting for Labour. I mean, what they're doing to what the public is actually doing is weighing in themselves. They're going into. I saw a video where a man was in a shop with a foghorn saying, this produce over here is produced by Israel, that is too, and that is too. Don't buy their produce. Let's do, you know what I mean? Boycott, boycott, boycott. And then they get close. What is it? Coffee? Starbucks? Are they still called Starbucks now? I think they're called something else. They massive billions of profit loss, billions in profits lost because they're connected. At the start, the owners were like, we're fully behind Israel. Kill them all, kill them. And now it's backfired. And people say, what? What did you say? I have friends. I have friends. And you guys are doing the dirty over there on them. You know, we don't mind you killing a few, but come on now. You're being very violent. Stop it. And so they boycotted Starbucks, and loads of companies have been going through the same treatment from the public. And so when conservatives say, oh, Labour, you're out of order, you're saying things against Israel and Israel people, is anti-Semitic, which is the word, the trigger word. That means, oh shit, we have to stop talking now. We can't say anything. You know what I mean? But I'm black. I'm Semitic. Right? I am the Semitic people. My descendants are from Semitic people. So I can say what I want. Why is it anti-Semitic to say you people are out of order? How is it anti-Semitic to point out things they're doing wrong? It's just because, you know, they had you know, you can't deny the millions that were killed in World War II. You can't deny that, and you're not allowed to deny this. But in Congo, 20 million people minimum were destroyed by a certain people, and we're not talking about that. No one's allowed to remember that. But we can't get people to talk. We can't get people to talk about that. But many times there's a talk. There's something out there saying we have to reparations to Israel for this, that, and that. They get 185 million a year to their museum in reparations, part of the reparations package. We haven't got a penny for the whole of slavery, 400 years. We ain't got nothing. And these people, you know, they have a few million people killed in a war, and there's lots of other people, lost people in the war. But because they were the most instrumental in helping Britain win that war, we have to take care of them forevermore. And we can't say anything bad about them either. So I don't know. If you feel the same way, you let me know. We got our man Shep is in. If you want to come in, Shep, it's up to you. You can show yourself or stay anonymous. But if you've got anything to say about our first subject in over here, we're talking about Labour is again under scrutiny about anti-Semitic behaviour by some of their MPs, and they're going through stringent investigations, and they're pointing them out. And yes, we're Keir Starmers. Yes, we've got it under control. Don't worry about us. We're fine, and this will not stop us. But again, it's because of the conflict. These people's emotions have got their emotions up. They've got their feelings involved now, and so now you've got mates. I've got friends, both sides of the conflict, and both of them don't want the conflict, and who started it, who didn't start it, who's responsible for the conflict continuing, all this kind of stuff. And so people's emotions get up and they start cursing. They start cursing out this person and that. And there's going to be people in places where they're not supposed to be heard cursing that are going to be cursing, and the wrong people are going to hear them, and they're going to get reported, and they'll lose their job for saying a sentence, a simple sentence. But because it's deemed as as serious as calling as hate speech, it's hate speech basically. It's hate speech, but I don't see it as because I'm from a Semitic land, so how can I be anti-Semitic if I say something about a set of people who live in my place where my people came from, who were Semitic people? I don't get it. I don't understand that. But because it's such a trigger word now, everyone's using it like, oh, it pertains only to Israel. But they're not the original ones, though. They're not the original Semitic people. You see? So who are we talking about here? When you're being anti-Semitic, we need to really revisit that word and get the whole understanding of it clarified, so we know when we're hurting a certain people and when we're talking about a nation. And no one's got anything against Jewish people. How many Jewish people do you know? How can you have, just because you say no, I don't think that happened, that you're against the whole of the Jewish nation? How is that? Just because like the facts don't add up, blah blah blah. If the facts added up, they add up. Denying it is just, you're ignorant. But to be put in prison for hate speech because you said it out loud, it's incredible. But if you hear that I'm in prison next week, you know why. Right, that is what we're talking about over here. If anyone's got any thing to say, I'm now going to open the mics. How many people we got in here? And if you want to come in and talk.
Blapps.
Hello, mate. Who's that?
Hi, sorry. Yeah, I've only just joined anyway, so I probably I missed most of it anyway.
Okay. No problem, man. Well, it's the first subject of 4, so we can always revisit it at any time.
Sure. I mean, at the moment I can't see. I don't know how many people are around. So
it's only me and you right now, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
What do you think about this?
Have
you got your camera on?
No, well, at the moment, like I said, I was working. I mean, I'm still trying to. I've only just realized that I'd missed it, and I was trying to get through the security things.
Okay. Oh, first time registering, no problem. What do you think about this then?
Well, yeah. For me, anyway, I wasn't prepared, and my passwords are all over the place, and I was just trying to go back and forth. I tried to do on my mobile, and then I
don't worry about all that, bro. We'll get to that. Don't talk about the subject, man. What do you think about the anti-Semitism?
The subject. I mean, obviously, I only hear kind of like got to hear about the Semitism. It's this subject that I've always wondered as well myself. Why this anti-Semitism? It's always about the Jews, nobody else.
No one else.
Why?
Lots of Semitic lands, you know what I mean?
That nobody, no other race or nation or whatever has. And it's always against, just because of the Holocaust or what, or,
Where did your descendants come from, Shep?
Yeah, pardon?
Where did your descendants hail from?
I'm from Zimbabwe myself.
And where's that?
Zimbabwe in Africa.
Right.
Yeah. So
where's Africa?
In Africa.
The whole continent, isn't it?
It's the whole continent. I know. No, Zimbabwe. Well, I mean, it's like in fact, I mean, you know how the African, Africa was subdivided anyway, but I mean, I'm a Bantu, Zimbabwe is just north of South Africa,
Right.
which obviously South Africa itself is, okay, still English, it's not changed its
Yeah,
name yet,
it's
but
under a bit of Boer stuff still.
yeah, but I mean, I think in terms of like, I mean, this is my second home, I would say. I was born and bred and grew up there and until I came here.
Right.
Just trying to find my video. I don't know. It's not.
It's a camera
It's,
icon at the bottom left.
yeah, no, that's what I'm pressing at the
Okay.
moment. Let's see. Ah,
Have you got something over your camera?
oh yes, yeah, I forgot. Trying to get these hackers, off my trial.
No problems. You keep
Uh,
at it.
yeah,
Technical ability of us these days. And we're living in the cyber generation. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
exactly.
There you
Right.
go.
Okay, so and as you can see, I mean, I've got my Africa thing on.
Yay!
So
Like
yeah,
that. It looks like my one actually.
is it?
Yeah, it's got
No,
sections on it too.
this was
It's got sections on
know how
it.
much you can see because I can't see what you can see because of the reflection. But yeah. Now, so Zimbabwe will be like right at the bottom there. You see the white shade just north of
Okay.
South Africa.
Old
Yeah,
Rhodesia.
that's Zimbabwe.
Old Rhodesia.
Yeah, Rhodesia. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say Ghana then. Yeah, so I mean, like, and my family, don't know if you've met them yet or you've seen them. My daughter.
I've got that same picture of my daughter. What the hell?
Hmm?
Are you in my house? What's that? I got one of them for my daughter.
Is it? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's my daughter and my missus.
Cool, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, it's just
So
been.
where you work, you work, yeah, with
Yeah, I work
around
for.
other people or you're self-employed? Or
No. I work for other people,
okay,
unfortunately.
so now when you in other people's departments and when you go into a new job set,
Hmm?
do they warn you about this stuff? You cannot make remarks about these people, that people. You know, HR department comes down and gives you a booklet of things to be careful of saying, and you will be reprimanded if
Uh,
warnings.
I think like anything, there's rules and regulations and, wherever you are, wherever you work and whatever. But for like the subject we're talking about, for a nation to say, don't talk about us in a certain way, just because, I don't know why that is, they go and take over other people's lands and whatever, but nobody
How many
talks about
holocausts have we suffered that we
that.
can't talk about?
Exactly.
How many?
It's just ridiculous, but
Congo. I was just talking a minute ago about Congo, Belgium.
yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
it's just. I mean, like I said, I missed most of what you're saying because I literally only just managed to join about just when you mentioned my name.
Mm.
I was just like getting there and getting in, but yeah. I mean, you look around, the whole, world anyway. I mean, there've been difficulties, there've been wars, there've been, and yet. I've never heard anybody say don't talk about another nation like they do this.
Well, you can't mention anything
You
in
can
America,
mention.
especially. I think it's because we're living in America and in UK, that because we're their general allies,
I
that
know, but
we perpetuate the narrative that
yeah,
anti-Semitic behavior is as bad as calling someone the N word. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah, but I mean, well, I mean, people call us niggers all over the place.
all the
We are,
time.
and yet, I mean, like, we don't go fighting or we don't get people arrested for it,
And trying
and
to get us triggered to get us arrested. That's what it is. You're a damn fool and react to it. Then it's up to you. But
It's
like,
just ridiculous, Yeah, I mean, I would love to have somebody explain to me, really, why what it is, and that we can't do that. is it Jeremy Corbyn? You know, the
Yeah, I
Labour
talked
guy.
about Jeremy Corbyn.
You don't even hear about him anymore. And recently, you know, they just been
they put up his video again about him apologizing and saying we're Labour. The Labour Party is not. I'm going to put up the picture again.
Oh gosh.
Well, the Labour Party is not a party of anti-Semitic.
Yeah, so I don't know why it is, you know, but I hope. Yeah.
Can you see
and
that?
why it's only just Labour? I mean, it doesn't ever happen with the Conservatives or what?
Have you voted for them? You don't
Or
want to
maybe
say.
the Conservatives are always politically correct or what? Is there anybody from the Conservative who has ever been, you know, all I've heard is just Labour. Labour is the one that they have to,
they have to curb their ways and be careful how they talk. But Labour have always been the icon for the people, the basic people, the working people. You know,
why then do they have to fight it against each other and persecute?
And this is how we feel. This is how we feel, right?
Yeah, you're talking about, you know, what is in your heart.
We don't like you.
Hmm?
We don't like you. When we said Europe to Europe, Europeans are this, and French people are that, and German people are this, and we don't like them people. We say so much about Germans because we're at war with them. We say so much about the French when they're at war. They're always running away, blah, blah, blah. They're hurt. Their feelings are hurt. They've got warriors too. You know, so they win some wars, you know, so obviously they're not. So when you say that to the French, are they supposed to say, oh, that hurts my feelings? I think you should go to jail for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it myself.
Yeah, and I would really love to have somebody define and, you know, explain, you know, what it's all about, you know, what's this Semitism and why they have to have a word for that as well. You know, I don't know.
Someone coined it, and then, you know, the media ran with it and said, well, if you say anything about the Jews, because they run media.
Yeah,
apparently, I'm not allowed to say they run media, but they run media.
Especially in America, anyways. And I mean, I suppose even here, some of their communities, they're more into this finance, you know, and they run the economies, I suppose, you know, but that can't be the, you know, excuse to.
Well, I did put it out there that, you know, this is because we are part of the UN, and this conflict has started, and since that conflict, it's enraged certain people to start backing Palestine. Now, I've talked about my feelings on this conflict since 2014, I think it was. So I've been dropping bombs on Facebook about this as way before the October 7th happening. But when October 7th happened, I was like straight away, this don't sound right. This place is the most surveyed place on the planet in terms of strategic warfare going on there for 70 odd years. If they put up a satellite 70 years ago, it was watching this place from then. You know, they literally have all their technology that is, you know, the new technology, the way, you know, they got the Iron Dome, which is shooting down things that are launched into Israel. And for 2 hours, it stopped working. They managed to cut a hole in the fence. And we didn't see with our 100 and odd satellites that we've got looking at the place all day, every day for the last whatever years we've had satellites that can see a coin on the top of your foot. If it's heads or tails, they can see, right? They
can see everything.
Everything. And for 2 hours, no one knew nothing. They've got a wall 20 foot high, so deep, right? It'll take you 10 minutes to get to the actual area behind this wall. And it's being watched all the time. They've got sentries everywhere. For 2 hours, they came in like 300, 400 soldiers came in with hang gliders, really Really?
They must be guilty of something, you know.
Come on, you let them in. So yeah, kill them. All right, let them kill a few more. All right, yeah, maybe a couple hundred. Yeah, get some young people. That would be great for our optics. Blah, blah, blah. You know, you could just picture them saying this,
Yeah,
right? Because this guy Benjamin Netanyahu needs to stay in power, and he knows that if they're at war, he has to stay in power until the war's done.
yeah.
So he's been in that job for years, like 20
Yeah,
years.
it's been there for years. Yeah, I mean, but apparently, you know, the reason they want that Gaza Strip, is
They want to
because
clear it. They want to clear it.
they want to build a canal from the Red Sea because you know
Suez Canal.
the Suez Canal
It
is
was first, and then they
exactly.
want that whole area there under
but
their control.
no, apparently, obviously, I think the Suez Canal is owned by Egypt or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they want to build their own,
Especially
and
on the west
also,
side.
yeah, and also it should be shorter from the Red Sea to,
India and stuff.
So the quickest and shortest route is to go through Gaza, which obviously they can't at the moment. They would have to go
strategic
north
position.
exactly north of Gaza, which obviously will be a detour. So the most economical route will be to go through Gaza, and they can't if they don't, you know, they don't own that land, and that's why they're trying to take it over. Yeah, so that they can just build a canal straight through. Now, just for the canal, that's why they have to kill all these people.
I mean, they've been constantly at war, and you know when you're just like, if you picture two neighbors at war for 20 years even.
No,
just
but
every year you're throwing rubbish over there, they're throwing rubbish back, and you're mashing up their fence, and then they mash up your shed, and then you know what I mean. You see it all on camera on both of their houses, things happening for 20 years, and you think, what's going on here? And then finally, the one neighbor burns down the house.
Yeah.
You know, you just
think, you know, it's like you've got your own house and whatever, you know, they want to stay in your garden.
Yeah.
I mean,
they want to come and
camp in your garden. That's not on. That's not on. You know, I mean, you know, it's just so unfair. You know, okay, so maybe.
I mean, when you got the garden wall, you know, you go to the council, you find out which wall is yours, and then you're responsible for that. They're moving it's inching their wall into the property of the other person's, just going past the boundary wall.
Yeah, how can you say to your people, you know, you're next door, go and stay in the next door's garden, and I'm going to build a wall anyway as well.
You go, build a wall around you, and so they can't touch you while you're in their territory.
Yeah,
and if they attack you, we're just going to burn down their side of it.
Yeah, but it's just ridiculous, really. I mean, you know, it just needs to be clarified, or at least, I don't know what the West sees in that as well, you know, and obviously they're all running those kind of like, you know, institutions anyway, which is why, you know, they're going on the way they do.
Right.
But I think it's just unfair that we have to follow their rules. We have to say, you know, to follow everything they do. You can't say this and that. But I mean, you know, if it's democracy, you know, and freedom of speech, you know, whatever happened to all those things?
Well, I feel it would backfire on them because the British people have shown they are for Palestine.
Yeah.
Because they've gone so far, too far, right, with their retaliation. Okay, retaliate, fine, they did something, you have to slap them back, that's fine. Don't turn the other cheek. Yeah, I understand you're not Christians, blah, blah, blah. Right, so that you carry on, you hit them back hard, don't do it again. But now they're trying to wipe them completely off the face of the earth because they keep saying, we've been doing this fight for ages. These animals can't be talked to. The only thing they understand is a carpet bombing for the next few months.
I mean, you can't expect them to just keep quiet, isn't it? You know, if they are doing that to their country and you're, you know, occupying them, you won't let them do this and that. And, you know, I think for what they suffered anyway in Yemen or whatever, you know, we can't always kind of like, you know, to go back to that all the time. You know, I think we need to start afresh. I mean, we are talking about living peacefully, the whole
Do you
world.
think they'll ever get a two-nation agreement?
Well, I mean, that's the only kind of like, solution really, because that
Do you
will
think
never,
they'll ever get it?
they know. It has to happen. It will happen, because I don't think, that,
How can you have a two-state agreement with the people that control your food, your fuel, and your water? They control
no,
everything about the part you're in.
yeah, but once they agree, if they ever come to agreeing to do it that way, then they will have the power to do their own thing as well. They will have the power to trade with who
They'll
they
have
want.
to have the power, but
Exactly,
I think
but
they'll have to give back some of the land that they've taken. And I
no, they will
don't
have
think they're
to.
going to do that. I don't think
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
give
yeah.
back an
But
inch.
exactly, they will have to give. I mean, these borders have been drawn. We know where the borders are. We know what the
Yeah,
borders are. So, I mean, they can't say, okay, we're going to let you have your own state, but we're going to take that chunk of it. Why? That it can't happen. It's like,
but the
it's
part they're living in, though, is totally, they're decimated it to the point where what school are they going back to? What hospital will they be able to use?
no. But look at
They're
what's
going to have to
happening.
deal with infection and
Look what's happening at Ukraine.
pestilence.
Ukraine is also going through the same hardships, isn't it? I mean,
Let's
I'm not
talk
saying
about
with
Ukraine.
that. I mean, we're not talking about that because it's a different scenario altogether. Here, we're
No,
talking
I'm
about.
about to talk about Ukraine in the next section.
Okay, well, not today though.
Yeah, today.
I still need to go, no, I still need to go back to work, unfortunately.
Oh, right, okay. Let's
Yeah,
get on with it then. Let's
yeah,
get on with it. Let's
yeah,
get
no,
as much out of you as we can. Right. So
yeah,
in
no, but
over there, let's talk about it.
yeah,
In
okay.
over there,
Yeah.
we're
So,
talking
I mean,
about the
no,
farmers.
to finish this point about Gaza, and there's also the West Bank, obviously,
Oh,
but it's like, say for instance, well, Scotland wants to get independent, and then England say, oh no, okay, you can be independent, but we'll take is it Glasgow or maybe Edinburgh or whatever,
mm.
you know. No, you can't. We know where the border is between Scotland and England, and it's been established, so long ago that, I mean, there's no way that you can say, oh, now we want this chunk of land.
Yeah, but Scotland can't say, like England can't say, oh, we're occupying part of Scotland, and Scotland can't say we're occupying part of the UK,
No, that's what
of
I'm. No,
England. You know
just
what
an
I mean? So
example. What I'm saying that,
yeah, I know, but
yeah. So Gaza is there. We know what Gaza looks
and
like,
these people dropped
and
in by parachute and started taking over
yeah,
the
yeah. No, but I mean, obviously they have to go back, to Israel, if the case might be, that to if that two-state agreement is reached, they have to set those rules that, I mean, you have to move out of that land, because that's why there are two states. If you want to live in that state, fine, but
Okay,
it's not
let
going
me
to be
put this to
part
you
of.
then.
Yeah.
Let me put this to you then. Israel will agree to the two-state as long as Gaza, the other side can have all their territory that they, by the borders on the map, before the conflict, blah blah blah. Whatever they've been arguing about, just as long as you have no capability of arguing with us in the future, which means we still control all your food, your fuel, and we have more armaments than you could possibly require.
Yeah, no, but eventually they will be able to sustain themselves. I mean, like I said, all of this fighting that is going on
How
is
long?
not, it's
70
not because
years?
of the land. It's because they want to build that canal.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are money
I've
people.
always said it's an oil thing. I've
These are money
always said it's
people,
an oil problem.
Yeah, these are money people. They're always thinking about money. Then
Yeah.
it's not about that. They
They
want to
don't care about
devote
religion and all
into
that. They
that so
just
they
use
can.
religion as a
Yeah. you know,
an excuse.
and it's just the way they are going on about it. And I think, you know, with the way, look at America now, how it's kind of like backing off now, isn't it? You know, because of the
Well,
Cuba.
it's bad politically for him because he's coming up to an election.
Exactly.
You know, if he's in his first year, it'd take all 4 years to stay in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
so
but like he's coming up to an election where his rival is a man who says, "Oh, he would have sorted this out in a day with a phone call."
Well, so, you know, I always feel like, you know, these kind of things, you know, will sort themselves out somehow. And obviously, it's just a question of a matter of time. And, you know, it's when it will happen, but it will happen.
Okay.
And they might resist the way they're doing now. Yes, okay, it's been going on for so many years, but I think the world is waking up. You know, it's all work everywhere. You know that something is gonna give, will give, and and I think yeah, nations have been destroyed before, but I think the Palestinians, are strong and they've been there and they will be there and we will be there with them. And one day. Yeah, they will be celebrating with them as well.
So I'm thinking, just to cap it off and move on to the next subject, for Palestinians to say that, okay, we're happy now, we can exist in a two-nation state or two-state nation rather. They're going to want a lot. They're going to want to be back on equal footing. They're going to be wanting reparations forever. Give us billions and billions to get us stronger back again. You did this and we didn't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to have to forget all their religious stuff. So again, I don't think because they see this as a war, a religious war. They don't see it as a war on oil. The optics of the world sees this as a conflict between two people. It's not a conflict between two people. It's a conflict between who's got oil and who ain't. Who is going to be continue to be wealthy, and who is going to be completely away from the wealth. That's what this is about. So I'm going to leave it there. I know you got someone.
Just
I've got
quickly,
4 subjects to cover.
Just 1 minute. No, I'm just saying, like obviously, countries have been destroyed before and they've been rebuilt. Cities have been built. It doesn't matter how long it takes, and in fact, it might even be for the better as well, because now they'll be starting afresh and they'll be starting clean.
Yeah, that's the good thing about war is that you can start afresh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this now. Can you see this?
No, nothing.
Technical. There we go. All right. Over there, we're talking about farmers protesting all around the world, but especially in Europe. They have problems with their associated governments bringing their subsidies down, hiring the price, lowering their margins. And so the hardship of farmers has increased. Their profits are down by 9%. There are a third of farmers have gone into receivership. They've gone down. The larger farming groups are feeling the pressure because their profits are minimal, and it's only getting harder because of the restrictions. And we're talking about places like Poland, France, Germany, Portugal, Scotland, even India. Farmers all over the world have done these kind of protests where they've jammed up the capital cities, thrown filth at and eggs at the government buildings. They've completely and they haven't done it and told them, oh, we're going to do it next Tuesday, we're going to do this protest. No, they've just done it. They've just rushed the place and completely dumped tons and tons of hay on motorways so no one can move. They've brought sheep by the hundreds into the city, just let them run around the cities, and completely messed up for a week the traffic system.
Yeah,
it's like a weather storm came in after they came in, because it takes so long to get back to normal after they've done their protests, but they're so massive, and they're protesting about the same exact thing. Now, some of them say because of climate change, the weather patterns have changed, and so we're not producing as much crops as we used to. And the fact that other countries like Ukraine, who are often considered the breadbasket of the world for producing food, are at war with Russia. And so they are producing cheap produce to send to export, to the UK.
Yeah.
And so the UK is taking this cheap export over the farmers' stock, because they have to pay out so much in subsidies, because they want the farmers in Europe to leave part of their fields to fallow, like 5% of their fields to fallow, so they don't produce so much and we don't get a glut that they can't pay for or will not afford to pay for. So the farmers are saying this is causing us to retaliate against Ukraine food, and they're putting blockades, sorry, my bad, blockades to Ukraine trucks coming into Europe, coming from Europe, going into the UK and other places, to combat the cheap food, putting them out of business. So this is why they're protesting. But this has been going on for a very long time. And I always say to myself, when I see these news reports coming out around the world, this too shall pass. But what onto what? What will it pass on to? So now it all indicates that this food problem, this new food problem caused by wars, Russia and Ukraine, told you we're going to talk about Ukraine, is causing this problem with farmers. It's been going on for 2 years now, February 2022, 2 years now, and the farmers are still protesting, even though this war doesn't look like it's going to end very soon. When it first started, I thought, Russia completely trounce Ukraine, and it'd be over in months. In a couple of weeks, it'll be over. And no, because of Russia is tiptoeing about this right now. They're not doing what they could do, because I don't know if you saw an interview with Tucker Carlson and Putin. Have you seen that recently? He got an exclusive interview with Vladimir Putin.
No, I didn't see that.
They discussed this war in Ukraine. Will it end? How could it end? What would you need for it to end? And he gave him a history lesson.
Yeah.
Putin looked like, wow, you know what? Putin's reasonable.
Yeah.
Nice about this. They actually have claim to this place. But Crimea was 1800s when they first started talking about this. French and UK have often fought with Russia to get Crimea, in Crimean War, to gain that part of the world. And then Syria and stuff like this is all connected. All of it is connected, and we're just getting the backlash of it with farmers showing us that the first people to suffer will always be the public, the people, and food prices will ultimately go up. And when you see in America, who are not quite affected by this yet, having a Cold War with Russia over grain, you remember a few decades back?
Yeah.
It's Cold Wars, grain and oil, and you know what I mean. You cut off our grain, we'll cut off your oil. I would go to war then. It's a war for me, and it was a Cold War, and you know, Russians were queuing for a loaf of bread. Remember them days?
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. So that was the 70s and 80s, wasn't it? And so now in America now, you've got people like the philanthropists saying that they're going to make sure that we always eat and we're going to cure starvation. Bill Gates is buying up rakes of land, either hundreds of hectares, thousands of hectares, just rakes of land, like whole towns of land, you know what I mean? And he's going to start planting crops and GMO crops, modified crops that have tomatoes as big as footballs and stuff like that.
Full of coronavirus.
Absolutely. Right. So anything you can think of from a science fiction movie, those foods will have it in them. Whatever metallics is going to be in them, whatever virus is going to be in them, whatever DNA changing product is inside of this food, you can guarantee it's going to be in there. Now they can sue my heart off.
Yeah, but that's also
but everyone's thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
there's no one out there thinking, oh yeah, tomato as big as a football. That can't be. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? The whole family could eat a tomato.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, they're doing the same thing to chickens nowadays. You see these fat chickens, and you think
bloating them up with water. And...
Yeah, exactly. But you know, obviously, you're talking about how farmers are protesting because they're having a raw deal. But also, that's also part of the problem, where this food's being grown and overtaking the market. You know, obviously filling the shops, and the greener stuff that the farmers are trying to grow is not finding any place anywhere. You know, it's you go to a supermarket now,
it's full of it.
Yeah, the junk is what common people like us can afford, and that's all GM food as well. Anyway, because obviously they have to be cheaper because they're produced in, you know.
Yeah, but the cheaper food, like you say, is junk. And what we say by junk, we don't mean that it's like you're buying fish and chips, like junk food.
No,
we're saying that the way it's made,
is
to make it more
cheap,
stay on the shelves for longer.
Exactly. That's
why stuff like that. Well, I remember back in the day as a 5-10-year-old, say a 10-year-old, you put a loaf of bread in the bread bin.
Yeah.
That's off in 3 days, 5 days.
Exactly.
That's stale, all the bread stale, everything.
Organic
These days, you can put that. Loaf of bread. I don't eat much bread or milk much at all these days. I'll buy a loaf of bread and that will last me a month.
Yeah.
And you know why it can last me a month? Because I can put it in the fridge and it'd be fine for a month.
Exactly. But organic food, which is meant to be healthier, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, and it goes off real quick.
Exactly, and it goes off really quick.
You know how to preserve it.
You know, so that's what's causing all this problem. So I mean, and if you drive from here to London, for instance, you see how many solar panel farms that's taken. You know, if you look at how many lanes of motorways they are building nowadays, you know,
even in Jamaica they're building 2 4-lane motorways.
Yeah, but it's how much of that is farms that they've wasted, you know. And if you going to motorways, I mean, obviously it's damaging the farms, and you're building all this. Okay, we need the power, we need the solar power and whatnot, but the cars, 3 lanes that were always there were enough. There could be enough. It's this speeds, restrictions. You get 5 cars on a piece of road, right? You get one of those to travel fast. It will be out of there before you know it, leaving room for another car to take over.
Higher speeds, higher deaths.
Now,
that's what they say. So
yeah, but if you then make sure that those cars are not going anywhere, they're not going to go anywhere. Cars are going to be piling up behind them. We end up with traffic jams, which is what's happening at the moment. And they say, "Oh, no.
That's the government's position on the farmer. They're telling the farmers, you are responsible for 15% of the ozone problem. You know what I'm saying? The carbon footprint. And because you're dealing with biodiesel and which adds to the problem. So you need to bring that down, which means that they put higher costs on the fuel. They take away the subsidies for that fuel. You know, they put pressure on the farmers to do more with less.
Yeah, but
and so the farmers are now protesting
exactly.
against
Yeah,
that.
but there's
And it's
always
all because of the war.
yeah. I mean, of course, something has to give somewhere anyway, eventually, which is why
Well, this is the question I'm asking, is because I'm a prepper. I'm a personal my friends have got loads of allotments, and they're growing their own food for years. They're growing over. As a child, our back garden was literally a farm. You know what I mean? We made it into a farm. It's a normal back garden, like 80 foot long, whatever, and we had everything: blackberries, apples. We had sweet grown. We had everything going on in our garden, just like the next door neighbors, and just like their neighbors, and just like, you see what I'm saying. But now these days, supermarket food is much easier, much quicker, much more accessible, and it lasts longer because it's got more preservatives and crap in it. And so that's what's being grown for the supermarkets, and the farmers can't afford to make it anymore. And especially they're under pressure because of the preservatives that they're forced to put into pesticides they're supposed to use, and the government is telling them, don't use so much pesticides, but keep the cost down. Like, what? Oh, supposed to do both, with nothing, with no money. So it's damaging everything. But as a prepper, I'm saying to myself, you know what, this too shall pass. It looks like it's going to be a real problem in supermarkets to produce fresh food for our children. We need to get this consortium of personal farmers, backyard farmers, to sort with each other. What have you got that is in surplus? What have I got? Can we swap it and do that nationwide? So I've got my People's Peace portals, and there's, like, on Facebook, we've got like 1,500 members, and it's a group of people that are trying about keeping peace. And when we're looking forward to when the wars end, when peace happens, we can then barter with food again.
Yeah, I mean,
so everyone's growing their own stuff. So we've got people in Scotland with beehives. We've got people with beehives and chickens in Surrey. We've got people in Wales that have been growing strawberries. They've got a field of strawberries. It goes on and on and on. And we're linking together to make a network of people that have got rakes of land. I've got access to like local land that has been reclaimed for the public. So you could plant whatever you want on there. I've got access to that, like 2 acres of food, 2 acres of land to do whatever you want with it. And so I'm trying to get everyone organized to get regular food from that place, so we can supply it to food banks.
Yeah, it could work. I mean, because in fact, I've been thinking, about something in those lines, in terms of, like, say, what's happening in Africa, for instance, where we've got lots of these sanctions and whatnot, and so you can't trade with anybody else. I mean, barter system, would be the best thing. At the moment where they're complaining about the dollar, taking over everything. I mean, Africa is quite a big, it's politics. Obviously, you go from one to the other. You end up discussing things like, they wanted to create their own currency and whatever, so they can trade amongst themselves. And obviously, the West keep killing off the leaders that are trying to do that. The barter system would solve all those issues.
A barter system would help with the food, but when it comes to like fixing my fence, you need to buy materials, and so you're going to need fiat currency.
No,
I have to get the fiat currency from somewhere, so it can't be all barter. But we understand that trade must continue.
No, but in fact, it might not necessarily be.
It would help the food business.
Yeah. But even like the materials, the resources that we're talking about, you're talking about batteries, Congo, and you're talking about the, the Belgians and whatnot, there's French and all those things we can trade amongst ourselves. Anyway, wanted to. Where is that money
We're
going
still
to?
doing it for years. We're doing it for years. I mean,
But
we're just, our neighbours are just over there. You're going to tell a government in
exactly.
Europe tells
Yeah.
us what to do in Africa.
Whatever they need.
How does that work?
I'm sure now we've got enough, we've had enough education to be able to build all these things ourselves.
Absolutely.
But because of the restrictions that they put on us, that's what's stopping us. And we can do without that. And, we don't really need to have nuclear weapons. So we don't, there's simple things that we can, as a nation, just do amongst ourselves.
Yeah, community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We can build things ourselves. We don't have to say, oh, no, because we don't have any, we don't have a builder. So, I mean, the builder comes from America, so we are not going to do anything. We can build our own, be it might not be that strong. We can build our own houses. We can do whatever, we can build cars,
Yeah, we've had the internet for a very long time now. Yeah. And so we can find out how to defuse a nuclear weapon. We can find out how to make a desalination plant, exactly. Yeah. How to make one ourselves, how to make water the ground in the Sahara Desert. We can find out how to do this. Exactly. And it's being done. Remember, Gaddafi was going to put in a whole water system to make...
Gaddafi, people used to think, oh, he's a dictator and whatever.
Oh, they don't know this. They don't know history properly. They don't talk to the people when they talk about Gaddafi.
Libya was
free money to get married, free money to start a farm, free money. You know what I mean? Loans for this 0% interest.
It wasn't free. They worked for it, and
it was theirs. To give back the money, obviously, but it's interest free.
They're sharing, the resources. Whereas you don't get that anywhere else. And
well, they killed him. They murdered him to make sure it didn't happen anywhere.
Yeah,
sent a message.
And the more, the more we. I don't know how we can stop this. Obviously they plant their own leaders and whatever, kind of like they control, they give them all this, the the riches and whatever. They're the ones who are stealing the country. Like, for instance, Zimbabwe, where I come from, they're literally, just recently somebody was caught with tons of gold. Yeah, in Ethiopia.
Wow, they're just storing it?
Taking it to Dubai, yeah.
Oh, they're going on a plane?
On the plane, yeah.
They're transporting gold on a plane?
Oh, yeah,
on their flight?
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
It's crazy, yeah, but it happened. It's happening. And
you even get an ounce carried in your wallet would get scrutiny.
Exactly. No, but these are diplomatic kind of like, people. They obviously politicians who are doing it, and so they don't get searched, and then
diplomatic community business.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's lots of things that are just.
But it's changing Africa, isn't it? I mean, they're trading in their own gold now. I mean, there's people out there that are getting rid of the petrodollar.
No, you know what's happening. The leaders complain about sanctions, right? They say the West, obviously, the country is in this state because of sanctions. Yeah. Now we got rid of, like, okay, white people, white government, and whatever, because everything is all about black and white, isn't it? So now we've got a black government in there who are now doing the same things that the white people were doing, accused of, to their own people. Yeah, my mind boggles, and you think, why are they doing it? Obviously, they're being, bring your gold here and bring your children here. We can school them and we can whatever. If anything goes bad there, you can come and live here. And they've got all this kind of incentives, which are, greed, and you start putting that in.
So what do you think about China as a food problem, because it's got overpopulation problem? So they always constantly have to think about what we're going to do for food in 10 years, 20 years. So they've gone to Africa because it's got the most land available for farming.
No,
And they're putting in infrastructure to grow food so they can bring it back. Isn't
yeah,
that right?
yeah. No, I mean, it is. Yeah, I'm sure it is in some ways. I mean, because, but the one thing I like about China and Russia, they're doing that, but they do it. They don't hide what they're doing.
No, they don't. And
They
they're
tell you
saying
what they're
exactly
doing.
why. I mean,
Exactly.
you're going to put sanctions on two of the biggest places, governments
Exactly.
on the planet. They're
Yeah.
going to go behind your back and do what they want. And
Exactly.
so now they trade in gold.
But
There's trading gold.
unfortunately, we are also still dealing with corrupt
Saudi
people as well.
Arabia, Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like
That's what BRICS is about.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So it's in somewhat, yes, we might help, and at the same time, obviously, they will be taking a piece of the land and whatever, developing it at least, but at least, the community, it's,
Yeah.
Is benefiting from it if that's the term. But
Most of these deals where they're in there drilling up minerals, they have it for 20, 25 years, but at the same time, they say, we're going to put in infrastructure that we're going to leave behind once the deal is done.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? And then it comes to the end of 25 years, they'll say, look what we've done.
Yeah.
Congo and Belgium, they just took.
Yeah, exactly.
They 500 billion a year to France, and you've got nothing to show for it. You're still poor.
Yeah.
But when we put in infrastructure, we put in roads, hospitals, schools for our people coming over. Yes. You use them too. Yes. But once we've gone and we've taken a lot of your resources for it, you've got all this left over. And what are you going to say? No to them?
Yeah, exactly. So
same thing happening in Jamaica.
It's it's a funny old world, but I think, hopefully what's happening to the farmers, if it's only happening, say maybe to the European ones or, but at the end of the day, it's probably something that's going to stabilize in some way,
Oh, it's happening in India as well. India, they've had 12 people dead from some of these protests.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
because the government says go in and crush them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I heard about that actually. No, but it's what I'm saying is, I mean, in whatever is happening will eventually. I mean, because there's always imports, isn't it, from other countries anyway, which we know it's happening, but and I mean that's where some of this cheap food comes from as well, if it's not processed proper or if it's just like frozen, and even the GM food are encouraged to be grown somewhere and then shipped to, you've heard about the tomato wars, where they just like, grow too many things anyway, and then eventually just like crush them because they can't even be bothered to send some of them to Africa where there's famine and whatever, so it's like it's all part of it will come, it will stabilize, it's just like we're saying about Gaza and Israel, things will come to an end. Even what's happening in Russia, obviously we know that
It'll
Russia
come to an end, but what will be left after it, and where will our children be in 5 years after the war? So these wars that happen when they get their billions, trillions.
But the migration that's happening at the moment, with people being able to, they might not be free as such, but we are moving places, we are going different lands, and we are going to be influencing what's going to happen in those countries. And the more numbers that come, the more numbers that move around will,
2009, I was learning Mandarin from an African student who was in the UK teaching engineering. Engineering that he was taught in China.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so you're here doing work, and are you staying here now? You go, no, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go back home to Africa soon and use my talents there. That
Yeah.
was the whole thing. And when my parents came in 61,
Mm.
they came over, Windrush generation. They left in 89, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
20 odd years later.
Yeah.
Because they came over to make money to go back.
Go back.
But
Yeah.
the people that are born here, they don't know anything else.
They don't know anything about
so
it.
They don't know that Jamaica's the green and promised land, blah, blah, blah. They think England's the green and promised land.
Yeah.
But they don't know that people in Jamaica look over here, think we've got billions on the street, just bend down and pick it up.
And whatever, yeah.
And
no,
so
but
we stay here waiting to see it ourselves. It's crazy.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying is about, the movement of people. Anyway, eventually, people will settle here. We will not know anywhere else, and that will be their home. But just like even even the Chinese as well. I mean, they're marrying the indigenous people, in Africa, and they will settle there as well. And it's like what's happening to in Australia, where they're all kind of like thieves, isn't it? That were sent to.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
first,
And
send them over.
exactly. So in fact, the people that are coming to Africa are also like prisoners who, they're shedding them into Africa, and they will settle there eventually as well, some of them. And yeah, so it's but obviously I don't expect Africans to really go to China and be accepted, or even to Russia, but
not in their millions.
exactly,
No,
yeah.
no.
But I mean, but there are already too many of them there anyway, that I mean there probably isn't anywhere to live anyway, but
That's right. Oh
yeah,
no,
but
no, I did a report about this 2013, 14, I think I did it, of the empty cities that are there for emergency. Yeah, China has built about 12 in cities completely empty right now, still, since 2004. Last 10 years, they've built these cities, hospitals, proper working hospitals, filled up with stuff ready to
for
go.
what?
Because they want the mainland people that are living on the land, to move into these cities, so they can have complete control over them and get
Okay.
taxes from them, blah, blah, blah. Tax them basically. So you're on the grid,
Yeah,
making money for the government, rather than just on the land living without the government.
yeah.
They
But
need
then
you
when
to
they
be.
go and live in these concrete jungles, I mean, what are
That's
they?
what I'm saying. That's why they built them, but they're still empty.
What are
And
they
yet,
doing?
China's still. I talked about China has a chess game called Go, and it's on 64 black and white squares, not just the grid of 8 by 8 like that we have.
Yeah.
For our chess, there's this 64, not 64. 120. It's huge. It's a lot bigger than our normal chess. Chess is like this, and their chess is like this. But their chess is not about capturing or cornering the king, so the king cannot make any more moves or legal moves. It's about gathering area, land. So the more area you get, you win. Right, and it's much more strategic, it's much more sophisticated than chess, and they teach it in schools.
Yeah.
So when you're an adult now and you go to another country, you're not thinking about, let's get rid of that politician. You're thinking about, let's acquire that rake of land over
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing
So
now.
my people can go there.
That's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing now.
And they've been doing that for decades and decades and decades.
Exactly.
Since Go was around, which is dawn of time, basically.
When they come here, they have the Chinese center there. In every town, there's like
everything.
Yeah,
and we've been living there for what? And we ain't got even a community center.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
just
goes to show.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. Are we doing for time?
We're at 9:30. I'm going to move on to celebrity and community, the last half hour, so we can get something out. Let me just show you this.
Yeah. Okay.
Celebrity and Community is about the new film that's come out. It premieres today, I think. They did the celebrity premiere yesterday.
The
One
Bob Marley
Love
one.
by Bob Marley, about Bob Marley. The family have told that they're happy with the film, but the community are saying, especially Jamaican community, are saying, why couldn't they have a Jamaican playing the part of Bob Marley? Why do they have to get it from a European or American? So they were going at the family, and the family was just saying, look, we couldn't get them, and we just wanted the film to be for Jamaica. We wanted to make a film that showed Bob at his best and showed the real history of Bob Marley and what he was about, what he was trying to get for his people, which was the whole world.
I thought Bob was being played by his son. No.
No, Ziggy Marley was just one of the producers, one of the
No,
people.
the other son, I think, no, not Ziggy.
No, he's played by what got his name? Ronaldo Marcus Green.
He's
English.
American.
English, I think.
English.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I
went to acting school and all that, blah blah. But they built up the set in Jamaica over the last couple of years, and they've been filming it for a time. And they said they weren't going to premiere it until it was absolutely perfect. So you know, a proper accompaniment. So when the family says they're happy with it, they're happy with you know, the people that played a part in making it happen. They're happy with everything, but the Jamaican people are saying, why can't you get Jamaican actors to play all the parts?
No, but what they need to realize, acting is acting. You know, it shouldn't be any. It's about the story, so that's what we should be looking at.
Yes,
you know,
the story's
and
correct.
anybody, you know, okay, anybody can act, but there are some better actors who, you know, can do the job. That's what they're there. That's their job, you know, to act. You know, okay. I mean, the reason they would want to have it, you know, done by the Jamaicans is so at least to enrich them as well, because it's about a Jamaican who maybe, you know, that kind of thing. But it's like Mandela, for instance, when they had the film Mandela, you know, it wasn't a South African that played, you know. So it's just fine.
Did you like the film though?
Which one?
Did you like the film?
Mandela.
Was it accurate?
No, this one, you mean
the Mandela film?
Mandela film. Yeah, I for me, I think you know, when you're used to seeing somebody and how he talks, you know there's a difference, and you know you don't. Yeah, but it sinks in after a while. I mean, there obviously been films about other people who have died. You know, like Steve Biko, for instance. You can't expect. And I mean, I don't think even that it was a South African who played him. You know, it was somebody else from outside. But I would
see outside. We wouldn't. So what if he's not South African?
No. I would.
Was he even African though?
It should be an African. I mean, no. But what I'm saying is, I'm taking the point of the Jamaicans. Yeah. What I'm saying that I mean, they would have preferred to have had their own people playing to enrich their own people as well, because this is what it should be about, not to enrich other people who are already rich anyway. If it's you know, they should take this. This is the thing about acting. You know, I don't know why they always think the same people can do the same. You know, they do everything. You know, why give chance to other people to act and be famous? Because at the end of the thing, at the end of the day, is the story that you're selling. And if it's a good story, whoever is acting it will be good anyway. Yeah, because
yes, I saw an interview saying that the man was changed by his acting, because he had to delve more into the deep history and see and talk to the people that are actually affected by the shooting, by the concerts, by the politics and everything that was going on at the time. They got the actual backstory to it, so he could portray Bob much more accurately.
Yeah, but what the
now he's got a newfound love for them. So that's
but what the Jamaicans are saying, that this is somebody who has to learn to do it he has to learn about it. Why not just pick somebody who has lived it?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
Why
that's
couldn't you get someone that is from Jamaica to
what
play
is
the
from
part?
Jamaica. Who knows exactly what is
But
about.
like, you know, you can see it from both points of view. You're
Exactly.
saying that, yeah,
I mean,
people.
anything you can, because obviously, I mean, a well-known actor will pull in the dollars, isn't it? Because people want to see somebody who they are familiar with,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
you know,
like you said, there's a million people out there that could play the part,
mm,
and they would have brought their energy to it, their fullest. They would have done their best, and people would give them an award for how accurately they're portrayed.
exactly.
Right. So now, when you talk about films that Idris Elba has been in America,
Yeah, yeah,
portraying an American,
yeah.
no one said, "Oh no, come on, you couldn't get American to play that."
No, but
No,
there were some people.
they
There were
just
some
said
people who didn't
he
like
played
that
it very
either.
well. He's an
Yeah,
actor that portrayed it very well.
exactly. Yeah. So it's a give and take. I think where you just have to. I mean, but I'm sure the film will do well. It's about
Oh,
a
it's going
famous
to do well.
person, and if acted well, which I'm sure it would have. And then
Yeah, I've heard
yeah,
the musical score is very good. The whole portrayal is very accurate
yeah.
and down to earth. And
I watched the whole. There was a whole back-to-back Bob Marley. I think it on Saturday or
did
something.
you watch the musical or something?
No, it
A
was
premiere.
there was about 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4, I recorded most of them actually. Let me just see. There was a whole series of Bob Marley. Yeah, so this was
I have no TV channels, so I
Bob
wouldn't know
Marley and
what's
the
going on.
Wailers on Saturday. Then
Oh,
Bob
actual
Marley.
footage, actual.
Yeah, they were kind of like interviews and whatever,
Okay.
and some music, how they were recording, how they developed, how they, yeah, it was a whole mixed bunch actually. Like this one, Bob Marley, up close and personal. I discovered the real Bob Marley, and then the Bob Marley, the uprising, how they made the uprising album and stuff like that.
Right.
Really,
Leading up to the premiere.
yeah, I'm sure it is all part of,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, so I think I've only got 3, but I'm sure there was more, maybe about 4, but maybe it might, yeah, but they were long as well. This one was 2 hours 33, and the other 2, where's it gone now? I lost it. Yeah, the last one was 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours 4 minutes. The other one 1 hour 24. So yeah, they were quite long, but I did try to watch them. It's just that one of them was going a bit too late into the night, into the morning, to go to sleep. Yeah, but I mean, I quite enjoyed it. Very
It's an important
unusual.
film. It's an important film, and it's being released at a
Mm,
very, I don't know, it's a very poignant time, appropriate time. I don't know which word is more suited, but
mm,
it's Black History Month over here. So
okay.
is it on purpose they did it that at this point, or
No,
is it
yeah,
because
it's
it's for Black people, or
no.
are they doing it for?
I think it was just for the film.
Hmm.
I think it was just for the film.
Yeah, it's got to be for the
Yeah,
better promotional time, but it's February the 14th
yeah,
is
because
the premiership because
this
that's
was
Valentine's Day.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's one love, you know what I mean? So you go and watch the film on February the 14th with your girlfriend.
Exactly.
It's all
Yeah, yeah.
very
No, it's well planned, I must say. So I mean, which is good. But yeah, no, I mean, Bob was a great, and but it's just it's like the way he came in, because apparently I didn't know this fact as well, that I mean, um he kind of he became the leader of the pack, the leader of the group, the leader, but it could have been one of the others as well.
Yeah, the bass player just died recently, didn't they? The bass player was brothers with the drummer. The three man, was it Family Man? Forget his name. It was Family Man, who was a bass player, just died recently. And yeah, his brother was the drummer, so they were the structure of the whole thing.
Exactly.
And you know, Marcy Griffiths was singing on a few songs and things. And she was a structure as well, so she could have been, you know, the sisters were what they call the Wailers.
Exactly.
They were. I think some of them were family as well. But yeah, it was a good setup. It was like a very family setup. So I mean, the whole structure to everything that was going on. When I went to the museum in Jamaica, when I visited Jamaica, I've been there 3 times, and twice I went to the museum, and it's a very small museum.
Yeah.
And you think, for someone so huge that affected so many, it's like when you hear a Michael Jackson tune, you know all the lyrics.
Yeah.
When you hear a Bob Marley tune, you know all the lyrics. So it's one of them people that everyone knows. When you hear Queen playing, you know, the band, you know all the lyrics to it. Even if you don't like Queen, you know the lyrics. It's crazy. But
it's
like,
all over the place.
Yeah, because everyone's playing it. Everyone is mostly loved. But the place is like a small flat.
Yeah.
It's as big as a small flat, this studio, and they've made it into a museum, and there's nothing else on the island.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes, you know, you need that kind of iconic thing, you know. You don't want something too big would also maybe overwhelm other people, you know. But at least this is something, you know that when you go, that's it and nothing else, and whatever is there is going to be important enough to do, you know.
But they've
I
got
don't know how
Bob
much
Marley Museum in the UK. It's huge.
Yeah, I know, but I've never been there. I didn't even know about it.
What, until I just told you?
Yeah.
See, I'm schooling y'all.
But you know what? When I first came here, and I started getting into reggae, even though I'd been hearing Bob Marley, you know, before I came. I kind of like I got to know more about like Peter Tosh. I used to like Peter Tosh more
Yeah,
than
my dad did too.
You know, he was great, better than Bob Marley. And then eventually I'm no, but how come they always play Bob Marley? And then I started listening to it, and then I started, okay, well, he was okay, but I think for some reason the Peter Tosh tune kind of like took me before Bob Marley, even though I did Bob Marley before Peter Tosh, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I loved Muta Baruka before I heard any Bob Marley. I was hearing Muta Baruka and what's the name?
I think because he was too commercial as well.
Burning Spear.
Exactly, yeah.
Remember all them people there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Burning Spear? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I know it's funny how obviously it's just about the music, how it influences you, how it affects you and whatever, you know. In fact, even you can take say maybe there's only about maybe 1 or 2, 3 albums that I can say I can listen all the way through. But in most cases, albums, you only may be interested in 1 or 2 songs, and then the rest are rubbish. And yet, you know, those 2 songs are maybe made that person popular and whatever. You know, they just obviously have this other music to just fill in the gaps, you know.
Yeah, I can if he's done 50, if it say he's done 50, he's probably done hundreds. But like if he's done 50, I know about 5 I could name that I've listened to a lot.
Exactly.
And the rest maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Which I suppose
I think everyone else does that as well, don't
they? Yeah. But I mean, but I suppose that's I mean, music, you're controlled about what you can do in an album. You need so many tunes. You need so many records, you know. And before, when we had the LPs, you know, it's just like one side or the other. You know, you can have 5 at least at the most. And yeah, no, but I think he was good. I mean, in terms of like his influence around the world, the pop, you know. the messages, that he was portraying, which, I mean, I'm sure most of reggae music is all about the message as well, isn't it? But
Yeah, I
Bob
mean,
Marley,
I grew up. My parents are Jamaican, both of them, and my culture is Jamaican and English, obviously. So I grew
mm,
up here, but like I've taught all my values and morals come from Jamaica and
mm,
Christianity and blah blah
yeah,
blah. And even though I never really ever
yeah,
followed anything to do with Christianity. I have no interest in it. The only interest was just like incredulous that people were following it. But like that was just me. That's just the way I grew up because I had
yeah,
two separate parents, and they were two individuals that taught me both sides of the coin. But like
mm,
when I was listening to Bob Marley, my dad was going, "Oh, dreadlocks, man, you should comb his hair, blah blah," and I was like, I thought Jamaicans respect him. When you go over to Jamaica,
yeah. They
they
don't.
don't like dreads. They don't like them. They're
No,
dirty, dirty,
that's why it was.
dirty hair. Comb your dirty hair, wash off your. You know what I mean? You're just living off the land. You're whatless. You're not doing a job. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? There's all this
yeah,
kind of stuff I grew up with.
yeah,
And then the one person that Jamaica reveres over most of the famous people that come from Jamaica
mm,
is a dirty head
yeah,
Rasta.
yeah, exactly. No,
And smoke weed again. My family was like, no, I can't smoke weed. I have a lot of uncles, and I have uncles that are Rasta, and
mm,
just through and through to the religion, to the street. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Everything, and they taught me so much as well. I
Mm.
never saw them as the same as what my dad was calling them. You know what I'm saying? So it's a strange way to grow up. But he
Yeah.
was a policeman from Jamaica as well.
Okay.
So he's he's got something different to say.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's no, it's a funny world, where obviously people's attitudes are different, depending
Mm.
on, but it's all about the influence, how, with Bob, the whole world kind of like was looking towards him to him to like make peace, for which he seemed to have done very well. And that's the only reason why he became popular. And
Yeah, did you see him as a diplomat or a musician? Which one more?
like an ambassador. No, I think
Mm.
he was more of an ambassador, and I
Yeah,
think it did. I mean, to a great extent, maybe even publicized the reggae music. And without him, I don't know, it would still have been like underground. I mean, it was still popular music, but I wouldn't have known reggae if it wasn't, because of Bob.
mm. I'll
Yeah.
say that's a big thing to say actually, but
Yeah, because I mean, yes, obviously other artists did involve, and then I did get, like I said, Peter Tosh. I only just found out that there was other people called Peter Shaw, even though they were in the same group for that reason. But you only knew the frontman who was Bob Marley,
but
and
growing up in England and in the 70s and 80s, and growing up, and police would go to the party and bloody reggae music, sweet shouts, blah, 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 get you arrested, blah blah blah.
yeah,
And then Rasta man, you're people growing, you're bringing the drugs in,
Ganja, yeah,
or smoking all that ganja stuff, ain't you?
yeah,
And
exactly.
so they were vilified and victim made to
Mhm.
be the villain and blah blah. And so now, and then you got the flip side saying, yeah, reggae's over there, oh, my people over there, blah blah
Mm,
blah. And so you got this good bad narrative going on all the time.
mm,
People
mhm.
involved in reggae are miscreants, they're out of order, they're the diabolic of society, and
Yeah.
they're the way forward. One love, they love everyone. They're going to get good weed from them. You know what I'm saying? So which one is it? And
Yeah.
so now we're looking up to people like Bob Marley,
Mhm.
who's the epitome of what the white old man said and what the epitome of what your uncle said.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's like,
No, this, I mean, that's the thing, you see. I mean, but at least he made use of that position. I mean, I think
use the
he,
balance of it.
yeah, I think, okay. it's just a shame that obviously he died so early, so young, and whatever, you know. But I wonder what he would have been like now. But I'm sure even if his popularity might have probably died, and that probably made him what he still is now. Well, I don't know if you.
Yeah, it's like Bruce Lee died at 30 odd, Jesus at
Exactly.
30 odd, you know, all these
Yeah.
people that are mad, do mad stuff in a short space of time.
Jimi Hendrix, you know,
Yeah,
all those.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
You
So,
know, it's like you live longer by dying early, you know, but at the same time, you know, okay, Mandela died
become a
early.
legend,
Yeah,
like the tune,
exactly.
like the album, Legend.
Yeah. So, you know, but I mean, his influence, I think, was made him who he was, and you know, obviously helped quite a lot of countries, people, and whatever. You know, he even the genre itself, you know, he made it, you know, what it is now, or at least improved it anyway. If it wasn't there's plenty of nice, good, better maybe music, you know, but at least, you know, it takes somebody like Bob Marley to uplift that as well to make it, you know, even more popular. And otherwise, it would have been just stuck in Jamaica. Would never have known reggae, you know. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think he was far too big to stay in Jamaica. Like you say, if he didn't die of lead poisoning, was it? Then I think if he's like 80 odd today, whatever the age he would have been, he would be something massive
It would have been massive.
in politics or whatever, even if, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then
Just
again,
because he joined the two leaders together, remember at the
yeah,
concert,
yeah,
after he
the
got
Jamaican,
shot. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
now, even because of that,
yeah, that's
people
important.
would have been using him in
No,
the
you
UN, and they'll be using him in America to
yeah,
promote this. Remember
you,
when Obama came over to Jamaica for the first time, American president to come to Jamaica? First thing he says, Wagwan, Jamaica. And the reason why he could say that is because of Bob Marley.
Mali,
You
yeah,
see what I'm
exactly.
saying? So now he was talking
And,
about, and then the next thing you see
mm,
is Jamaica's now legalized weed
yeah,
in
and
25 states or whatever, 30 odd states it's now
didn't
legal.
Haile Selassie come
You got
there as well?
Jamaica, good weed.
Yeah, didn't Haile Selassie come to Jamaica as well?
Haile was, yeah, he's like
But
Ethiopian
yeah, exactly.
Ethiopian leader. So he's
He's
supposed to
the
be. He came over there and they treated him like a Messiah, basically.
Messiah. Well,
Yeah,
which he was.
prophet.
That's the Rastafarian God
That's
anyway.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I'm sure he would have gone there. Wasn't it because of Bob Marley or something?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, he would. Yes,
So
if yeah.
so I mean, he did good. He did well, and whether he would have been a politician or not, but maybe as an ambassador at least, you know.
Definitely.
But I'm
He'd be
sure.
like Bono, isn't it? Like
It,
Bono is now,
yeah, but Bono,
big time ambassador, and peace
exactly.
and
Yeah, exactly.
love
You
around the
know,
world.
yeah. But I mean, obviously, there would have been people who hated him as well. The assassination attempt and whatnot, you know, which is sad. But you know, then again, it's the
Get
nature
too
of
much power, people.
yeah, yeah.
Malcolm X.
No, no, Bob himself. I'm talking about. You
Yeah, I
know,
know. People get too powerful and they got too much of
exactly. No, there's bound to be somebody
a
who doesn't.
platform to talk
Yeah,
about things. Then
yeah, exactly.
you
And
get attacked.
whether they would have been just gangs or they would have been sent by somebody who didn't like how he was going about things. You
Mm.
never know, you know.
So you think they
But
would have tried again and got him?
yeah, I'm sure they would have. I mean, they would have.
Well, you're a cynical man, shit, man. I would have left. You would have left at old age, man. It's like Mandela and done.
Yeah, my Mandela was,
Yeah.
my Mandela was kept safe in
Fair
prison.
enough.
If he had been outside,
Was
I'm
he
sure he
safe?
would have been dead
Okay.
by now as well. Well, he would have been dead earlier as
Prison
well.
guards just let people in and bruck him up,
Yeah, exactly.
but they kept him safe. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
I have one more thing to talk about. How long you got? I'm going on till 10.
I
That's 10 minutes. Have we got 10
10
minutes?
minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's
Cool.
do 10
Excellent.
minutes.
It's been great to have you, man. It's awesome. It's great to have someone to chat to when you're doing a talk show.
Yeah. Oh, no problem. It's, I mean, I wish, I mean, it's just a time. Okay, we'd love to.
So here we go. What sparks me off? This is me kind of angry because I've been doing this show, like this is episode 392. And when I was working with Tropical FM delivering my shows, which was Blapps Experience and Blapps Tark. I used to do Blapps Tark on a Wednesday and Blapps Experience show on a Saturday, and they're each 2 hours old. And we've done about 300 shows of each before, and that was 2004, 2010 to about 16. And then I've continued to do Blapps Tark to today, obviously, but not as frequently. It's only this year I've decided to restart doing weekly shows because there's a lot going on for the CDMA, my community development through martial arts group, which is an anti-bullying group. And in each, and so I'm going to talk, I talk about my community stuff, what's happening with the CDMA and the community every time I do the show. But in every show, I always talk about why I'm angry. And today, I don't mind saying that this is one of the things that really vex me. So I've done 300 odd shows. I've always got something to say about what sparks me off. So I come off as a very angry person. But today is about people who take faith over facts.
You take what?
Faith over facts.
Oh, okay.
People that, I mean, you're looking at me right now, right? On a laptop or computer or a device.
Yeah.
Technology brought to your palm or to your home. You've got lights on in your place where you are. You've got heating. You rely on technology and physics to keep you safe, to keep you fed, to keep your car moving, to keep you in a job. Faith has no place in society. You can, I tell people, I have faith. I'm a devout atheist, right? I have no use for religion, and I don't understand why others do, and I keep questioning why they do. Are you a religious person? I don't mind.
No.
I don't mind.
No, I mean, you know,
if you believe in one thing or another, I don't mind. But
no, I have my own beliefs, but obviously I grew up as a Christian anyway.
Yeah,
But,
we mostly did. Yeah,
I've been watching what's been going on lately with all these prophets and whatever.
let me go through before you start. Let me finish what the premises of this. Right, why I'm vexed with people that because they're surrounded by facts and science all the time, and they rely on it all the time. When you jump off a building, you're going to die. If you're 14 floors up and you jump without a parachute, you've got every chance of dying or getting severely injured. That's facts. There's no reason why you should have faith that God will stop you from getting your legs shattered or your bone completely decimated and broken if you jump off this building. There's no leap of faith that is going to stop you from getting hurt. So why would you take faith over facts? Why would you go to the doctor and say, my mum is ill, that's why we brought her here. Can you tell me what's wrong with her? Yes, she's got this and she might have a stroke and blah, blah. We can sort of, okay, there's no need for her to stay here because we have God and we have faith that God will prevail and bring her
out. Some can say we don't go to hospitals because we because with our faith, you know.
Absolute ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I cuss them to their face. I don't care what they are. If they were the Pope and they said they're going to do that, I'd cuss them out. And the same for the same exact reasons, because the Pope has a bulletproof car.
Exactly.
Why doesn't he have faith in his people that they're not going to shoot? Why are there people on this earth that are stronger than his God? Why are there people out there that have a gun and can shoot him, and his God cannot protect him? The God that created everything.
Exactly. The prophets, when COVID came, people were saying, okay, where were they when did they treat these people if they're, you know?
Yeah,
But
why not? Yeah, put me on after him. Put me on after him. Go ahead, stand me. I'll be fine. I'll be here in 3 days. I'll be back. I'll be there.
yeah,
Don't worry.
and then you go to these cults, killing
Oh,
people because of religion.
oh
No,
God.
let's go to heaven, But yeah, no, I believe my church is here, and I will, I will. I don't. Uh, okay, so I'm in two minds at the moment where, okay, the church is there for a purpose, and the purpose that I see, the useful purpose that I can see is the community aspects of it, where people come together and have a jolly good afternoon. But what I don't like is to then have to say to other people, or come and join us, because, let them decide whether they want to come and join you or not.
Mm.
And but and also the hypocrisy of what they do, how they do it, and is a church fashion show, or what do they go there for? And it's
it's a con, and
yeah, so
it's a pay it's a business. They make money from the tithes, and
money, and in fact, I mean,
this
like,
man makes them feel good for an hour and a half. I mean, you're going to a concert for crying out loud. You're going to a concert, you hear the singing. I have got favorite hymns. As an atheist, I've got favorite hymns, favorite poems, buildings. I'm inspired by the stuff I've heard people say that is religious rhetoric. I'm
yeah,
inspired by it myself, but I understand at the end of the day, it's up to me to get off my backside and do something
exactly, yeah,
and believe in a person that is never been seen by anyone ever. And there's no one on the planet that can say, yes, that definitely happened because of that thing I believe in. Never. No one can prove it. No one.
no, it's this is the bit I also don't like about it,
Reason why.
because it's I mean, we all know about what the white people did when they came to Africa, with the Bible, and they
There you
lived
go.
there and
You're
whatever,
supposed to be slaves.
That's what it's all about. And, they obviously
It's in your book.
a good job, and, to kind of like mess up our minds and corrupt us. And, but that was the whole purpose. And obviously it's working, it's worked. And, but yet we still haven't got our eyes open. We haven't woken up yet to realize that. And, but then again, you start to think, what is it that has made it so powerful, But then we're talking about Christianity, because things like maybe even Islam itself is not as bad. It doesn't, I mean, or is it not? Or maybe because I've not been involved in that, and that as much as I've been with Christianity. But then, um,
So what is your church? My mum is Baptist
Methodist.
and my Methodist.
Yeah, but
I was
this
Christian. I was Christian Methodist.
no, but this is the thing as well. Why so many different? If it's got
30
one,
or thousand denominations of one
yeah,
religion. It
it's
doesn't make
one.
any sense.
It's one God.
I
So
disagree with you. Therefore, I'm going to have a different church.
yeah,
Doesn't make sense.
exactly. That's what happened. And so so when you look at then maybe the other religion, the Buddhism, the Hinduism, they are different.
Buddhism's not a religion.
No, no. What is it?
It's not a religion. It's just philosophy. I mean, there's no God.
No,
Everyone
no,
a Buddha.
no,
Everyone
no,
a Buddha.
no, no, no. It's a form.
Hindu, they've got thousands of gods.
No, no. What I'm saying is, it's a form of that's spiritual belief, and
No, no,
what.
it's not spiritual. Spiritual belief is not
No,
nothing
no,
to
no,
spirit.
no, no, no.
Belief in spirits is what
No,
happens after
no.
death.
Sorry, what I'm saying, Blapps, is
Mm.
you've got good, you've got evil, but there's no good without evil, right? Now, these are two groups. Okay, I can say, oh, this
Who
is
created evil?
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is, when I say Buddhism, I'm saying it's a part, because can you have a Christian Buddhist?
Yes.
You can.
Yes.
And can you have an Islam Buddhist?
An Islam Buddhist, yes.
Yeah. So what is?
Yeah, because I follow Taoism.
Yeah.
It's not religion.
It's not a religion.
There's
So
no
what?
God. It's just a philosophy. Taoism deals with the duality of the universe, like you said. There's an up, there's a down, there's a black, there's a white, there's good and
The
there's evil. That's because of the
the
duality of the universe, the dichotomy of the universe is that
yeah.
you got two sides of the same coin. So you got bad and good, but they're the same thing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, okay, no, the way I was bringing that in is because we talk of these types of religion. You've got
I've got Blapps
Christianity.
philosophy. I teach Blapps philosophy, my philosophy.
Yeah.
And it's not good or evil. It's just telling you how to get better in your life, how to be the best person you can be.
Well, to me, a person can live in that kind of like.
So why can't Buddhism teach that?
No. What I'm saying is, it's a state of mind. It's a state that
Okay.
you can compare to Christianity, you can compare to Islam, you can, because somebody can live in that environment, in that space of thought, this is how I feel, this is how I want my world to be. Christians do the same thing. They have got their own beliefs and they've got their own, mindset. And, so somebody else saying, oh, I don't believe in what you do, I'm going to form my own Christian church.
Your own band, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how the religions, are being created and whatever. Which is why I said my church is here, and if you want to come and pray with me, I
Oh,
will.
you're pointing at your chest. You know what? I'm trying to look on your chest to see if there's a badge there.
I'm pointing at my chest. Yeah.
Because
So
I've got this thing going on my video. It's like what's the name? A watermark on my video, and it goes across the screen. And it
no,
looked like it was on your shirt, and I didn't even realize I had a watermark until you pointed at your chest.
yeah. So
That's funny.
this is me, and okay, I can go to any religion. I can go to, I can. I don't want to be bogged down by a certain body of people.
Narrative or
If my church, got a barbecue, I'll be the first one there.
oh, me too. I go to
Yeah.
church food is wicked.
Yeah,
Did I say wicked?
Yeah. So it's not about being able to control people or whatever, and if you want to be a philanthropist, yeah, you can do it in so many different ways, there's so many, rather than to say, oh, I have to come to church every day or Sundays or whatever. No, I want to go when I want to, if I want to.
Okay, so you couldn't join Islam then?
I could join.
You couldn't. No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Well, if I wanted to, I could.
No, because they have so many rules. They tell you when to wake up, when to sleep,
No.
when to
I
pray,
said,
when to eat, what to do when you eat.
No. I said I could if I wanted to.
Of course you can. You got the choice.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I could, but
you couldn't be a good one.
No. I know for whatever reason. If it means that I have to follow what they want me to be, how they want me to be. Yeah. If I'm dedicated enough to want to follow them, I will have to conform and do. Yeah. But I want to be what I am, and I would want to be a Buddhist.
And you're not hurting anyone, are you?
This is it. I mean,
you wake up in the morning, you do your work, you say hello to your people, you
exactly
take care of your family, and you go to sleep. So it's the same as everyone else's, but they've got religion and you haven't, or I haven't got. You see what I'm saying? What's the difference? Why do I need to believe? Why do I need to have faith that a God exists?
No.
If it exists, why do I need to have faith?
It's this is my point, that they have got their own. They believe that he exists.
I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. No. Well, this is what I'm saying, that they do believe that somebody exists.
I do not have faith.
Yeah, but they're not. They shouldn't.
Your turn.
They shouldn't be dictating to people how to behave. And this is where I kind of like
you draw the line.
My distance and draw my line.
Mm-hmm.
I need to feel at least to make my own choice. But then again, you see, this is the point I was just trying to raise a few minutes ago, that they go to church because they believe in that, and I don't have a problem with that. It's their problem, not mine, if it is a problem. But if they enjoy it, by all means, let them do it.
Right.
But
That's
what
fine. I've got no problem with that. But the thing is,
like
what I'm saying is that what sparks me off about people taking faith over facts. They'd rather have their faith than have their facts, even though they live by facts.
Yeah. No. I agree. I'm agreeing with you. Like I was going to say, like Jehovah's Witness, when they come here and they want to, okay, in some ways they're not trying to win you or anything. They just want to talk. But it's
they turned up at your doorstep. Of course, they want to win you.
They're coming. Yes, no,
and
you
they
can
come to change you.
No, but you
They
don't
leave
have
you the book to leave their propaganda in your presence.
You don't have to accept it. You don't have to.
Yeah, I know, but it's in your yard now. Oh, I haven't read that yet. Let me read it.
No,
Now it's in your head.
It's the same as somebody coming to sell you double glazing, right?
Exactly. If you
Yeah,
leave them in the
you can
house,
just,
they'll talk about nothing else.
you can just tell them. You can just turn them away.
Yeah, but
nice and politely.
they've come to your house to give you double glazing if you want to pay them £2,000 for a
Yeah,
pane of glass.
yeah. No, but I mean,
Yeah,
but the thing is, with
it's a scam.
what I hate as well is the prophets, like I said, the African. I mean, and they are in America. This TV churches and whatever, and don't they have a life? That kind
Their
of thing.
life is to lead you into paying them money,
Yeah, exactly.
tithes, so they can go around in their Mercedes and their Rolls
Yeah,
Royce, and
that's
you
what I'm
have
saying.
nothing.
In Africa nowadays,
It's
they
crazy,
they are turning factories into churches.
because there's wow,
Yeah.
that is incredible. A thing to say, like they're turning factories into churches. Now
Yeah.
over here, it used to be they're turning community
Churches
centers
into
into churches, and I was like, why are they doing that? We need community centers. They're turning hospitals into churches. Oh, what? Why wouldn't they? No, wait, sorry. They're
but that
turning a church into a mosque instead of turning a church into a hospital.
but they're also turning churches into homes as well. Into
Yeah,
houses as
they're
well.
some of the best.
So, yeah, I know it's the world is
It's amazing how these people
the,
continue
the world
2,000 years after the fact
no
that
is
this person was talked about for the first time 70 years after his death.
yeah.
They started writing down stories about him 70 years after his death.
There
What
was something
happened 70 years ago?
there was something
What?
about
See, no, just answer me the question. What
yeah.
happened 70 years ago that you can write about with accuracy?
Yeah, this is it. I mean,
Talk about it.
I don't believe. No, there was something about.
Oh, what are you going to do?
No, there was something about. What was it? Was it? It wasn't James
I just
or.
watched a video today about Bart Ehrman, who's a scholar, Christian literature scholar, who was talking about the people who were writing in Greek the first time they started writing about, and Jesus's language was Aramaic, but it was 70 years after his death, and they were written by people who were in different lands, who were hearing stories
about
they heard last week that were people were living 30 years ago that heard it from someone 50 years ago. You see what I'm saying? So how could it be accurate? Even if I pass you a message, the oranges are green.
No,
and you go and tell it to someone else and they tell it to someone else. By the time it come back to me, the oranges are green.
I have a question.
It doesn't happen. It's oranges are green twice a day.
I have a question.
It will always come back different.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Jesus died, or around Easter, anyway, as I put it. And then after 3 days, he rose.
Did he?
No, that's what the Bible
That's the
said.
story. Okay, cool.
Where did he go?
What do you mean? Where did you go?
He rose into...
Jesus has come down as basically an avatar of the Father in human form. And so his soul died because that is eternal. But his humanity died on the cross. He came down in human form. The husk is dead. That's not coming back. What came back was the spiritual manifestation of the Father in human gaze, spirit. That's why you see him with the hole still in it, blah, blah, blah. Depicted in Leonardo da Vinci paintings. That was a.r.m.s, by the way. That you saw on your mum and dad's wall growing up with the white Jesus, blah, blah, blah. That's a.r.m.s. It was like the painter's mate or something. Yeah, but it's absolute rubbish put on paper. I tell people, I've had arguments on Facebook. You can imagine I have arguments with people all the time because I will not take it. I will not. I will fight for your. You can believe in whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I'll fight for that for you. But I don't have to succumb to your rubbish. And I talk to people about there's Batman stories I've read in comics. And Spider-Man stories, they give me more information than your Bible or your Torah or your Quran. And they're still stories. They're stories. I don't have to believe them. And you don't have to believe yours.
Exactly. Right. No, I think it should be an individual thing, you know, and obviously,
and like I said, I've met Spider-Man at Comic-Con. I shook his hand.
Okay.
The actor, and I see him in pictures. I haven't seen your God's picture yet. I haven't seen your prophet's picture yet. Yeah, I was saying, but I've seen Spider-Man. I saw the actor on a film, and I shook his hand. Physically. So therefore, I should be starting a religion of Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, you know, where I mean, I kind of like give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, they obviously have got no. Hear me out. What I'm saying is, well, there is two types. Like I said, there's the cult, and there's the normal, maybe stream of religion like we know it. You know, it's a similar thing. You know, they're all about God and, you know, belief and whatever. But the influences that I don't like, which either can get people to succumb to this power or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, as individuals, we've got the right to do what we want. We can't dictate to them how they should behave. They have got their own brains to think.
That's fine. They can do that whatever they want.
Exactly. So I let them do what they want. I don't go. I can voice my own, like we are doing now, you know, our own beliefs and, you know, our own thoughts and whatever. But at the end of the day, they need to decide. What I don't want is for them to come and say I should be like them.
That's right. Or open up a school and say your children need to learn the same thing I believe in.
Let me make my own decision. And if I don't want to, respect that as well.
Separation of church and state.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So I think
I'm angry that people take faith over facts. This is my angry part. I don't mind what you believe in. I don't mind what you have faith in. I have faith that the bus. Hold on a second. I'll make it clear. I have faith that the bus will arrive when I'm standing at the bus stop because I see people waiting beside me for the same thing. I believe the bus will arrive on time because other buses have passed by on time.
Can I ask you something?
I know, I have knowledge my bus has arrived when I'm sitting inside it.
Can I ask you something?
So I can believe and have faith.
Have you ever smoked ganja?
I smoked it once, yes.
Yeah, I have smoked as well.
Okay.
Now, this one
I didn't
time
see
I
anything.
I went to boarding school. Yeah,
Mm.
I went to boarding school. This is obviously, usually they are out in the country somewhere. And this particular one was, in fact, near to where Robert Mugabe went to school as well and taught. It's called Moleli. And now this is like a circular, it's got like the fence. It's in a the plan anyway, it's like in a
Perimeter. Okay.
and you've got the classrooms, and then you've got the dormitories, and then you've got the school, the teachers' quarters,
Right.
and then you've got the well, pastor's house anyway. Yeah. And on Saturdays, we used to have, I mean, it's like a free days, weekend and whatever. And sometimes we are allowed to go outside the perimeter fence.
Right.
So we'd go into the villages and would drink the home brew. It's called home brew, but it's just beer, you know. And sometimes we'd buy the ganja. And on the way back, but there's obviously bus route, the main road, which skirts along the side, and then it also goes inside through the school for this, yeah. And one entrance and the entrance at the other end. So we came back that night. We were supposed to have entertainment night. Sometimes we have discos, sometimes we have films, sometimes we just have lots of other things. But this particular day, we're going to have a film. And but this was before we got in. So we were coming back from the villages. We were crossing the main road. And in Zimbabwe, what we do is they've got like termite mounds, which grow into really big, kind of like big mounds. Yeah. And in most cases, that's where we bury. We bury our people, you know, with good graves. And sometimes, you know, obviously people move, shift, you know, go somewhere and live somewhere else, and the graves obviously are bound to stay there. And as we were crossing, now you see, you've heard of mass hallucination. Yeah, we are crossing the road. I mean, there was, I think, 4 or 5 of us. I can't remember exactly the right number. But the fence, the perimeter fence is barbed wire. Okay, and this is the path we normally always use anyway. So you would have to lift up the fence and we climb through. I looked to the left of me. There was a termite mound on the side of the road, and I saw. I don't know if you can see me clearly.
Yeah,
There's from the top of this mound.
Yeah, what I had.
A ball of fire, orange,
okay.
deep orange, which had flames going up but shooting, you know, like a comet.
Okay.
Yeah, and it shot up and, you know, hovered, shot down and went up again. And literally, I mean, you're looking at this and you're thinking, it's what do you call it? It's, what do you call it? A spook. I don't know. Sorry, ghost.
Okay.
Ghost, but I mean, obviously, ghost is usually a person form.
A spiritual apparition.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you know, I don't know this, but I ran through the fence and we literally, the 5 of us, we were running just before when we
You ran through a barbed wire fence.
We went through the barbed wire. We don't know how we went in. We just suddenly saw ourselves. We're running because you go into the football fields before you get to the classrooms, and then, you know. But we were heading towards the dormitory. The entertainment wasn't starting yet. We were rushing to the dormitories, you know. And I'm thinking, okay, this is yeah. whether maybe I ran and then they all ran, I don't know, but I know that what I saw, they also described the same thing. Now, whether it's hallucination, but is it mass hallucination because we all saw the same thing, and we all, yeah, I can't. And then we got to the top of the last dormitory, where I was sleeping and a couple of other guys, because it was like two, like a semi-detached sort of. And we knew we had to go to the home. And because of this circular plan of the classrooms, the dormitories, this in the middle, there's like just like trees. Yeah. And I looked out of the window and I could see like a line of teachers with hounds, dogs, coming towards us. Now, this was hallucination, I know, but when you were looking at it on that particular day, it looked so real.
It looks real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had hallucinations before, not from weed, but from
exactly.
I was in hospital, out of operation, and for the pain they gave me oral morphine, right, which is like heroin basically. So I took this, and I look at the room I was in with all the furniture in it, normal, with my eyes open. When I close my eyes, whatever you can conceive as a wallpaper pattern was on everything, covering every single thing. People walking in, everything. And when I open my eyes again, it's all gone. And when I close my eyes again, it would change. The wallpaper would change, but it would be on everything, over the tables, chairs, tables, everything.
This is what I'm saying. That okay.
So
this was
I understand. It was real to me, and I was telling people.
Exactly.
Can you see that? Can you see that? But again, when I'm back to normal, I don't take the fiction in my consciousness, which produced it, over the facts that I took more morphine.
This is what I'm saying. That I mean, to you, yes, I mean you're rid of schizophrenia, which is obviously an illness, but it can go on and on and on. Yeah,
I didn't have schizophrenia.
Pardon?
I didn't have schizophrenia.
No, schizophrenia. I mean,
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, what I'm saying is that there's different forms of
mental
beliefs and whatever, which obviously people are entitled to, if they're normal, to believe what they want.
That's fine.
And so
they can't start a church over it. Then.
Yeah. So, that's kind of thing. There's so many things that are going on out there that we don't know sometimes as well. And
that's a good advert for not doing weed and not doing morphine and
exactly.
But the fact is that we have the facts. But we understand the constants of
time is going, and I need to do this. Yeah, I need to finish.
Thank you straight away. If you need to go, you need to go. That's great. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for helping me out. That was awesome. Glad you can do it. I want you to be here next week and do the next one. Do this every week.
I can't promise. Like I said, I mean, obviously, I would love to if I can.
Yeah, you're great as an audience and a participant. That's awesome, man. Thanks for your help.
Okay.
All right.
Good night. We'll see you. And it's a shame about the place is closed anyway. So I was going to say we could meet up there.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't know why they're closed, but we'll meet somewhere else. There's other places.
Sure, yes, definitely.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
Cheers, Blapps.
I'm going to close this down myself. Have a good night.
Cheers, good night.
So, people, that was Blapps Tark for today, Valentine's Day. This is probably why there's not many people in the audience, but there's a lot of lovers and a lot of people that want to talk politics and community stuff, like myself, and conspiracy theories and controversial subjects. So that's fine. That's fine. Let them have their day. They can have it. It's not a problem for me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Today we talked about over here. We talked about why Labour has a, why is it that Labour has a problem with anti-Semitic behaviour all the time, and where will it lead? Over there, we talked about farmers are protesting around the world because of subsidies problems and because they're being pressured to produce more with less money, and their margins are lowering because of global climate change. Their weather has changed their profits, what they can produce and when they can produce it. And things are changing around the world because of war, and it's affecting them. And we wonder where it's going to lead to. Do we all need to band together and work together to keep ourselves fed and be able to afford vegetables, fruit and vegetable? Over community, celebrating community, we talked about One Love, the biopic of Bob Marley, um, that is just premiering tonight. That is a celebrity premiere yesterday, and has been received very well. But why are Jamaicans mad that they didn't use a Jamaican for the portrait for the actor Bob Marley? For why did they choose a non-Jamaican to act as Bob Marley? That's what we talked about in the community. And did it make any difference? Would it make any difference? That's what we talked about. And what sparks me off? We talked about people who take faith over facts, even though they live by the facts, until they want to start talking poetically about what they believe in. It doesn't make any difference to reality, whatever you believe in, because after you say the word, if there's a God, if there were leprechauns, if unicorns exist, after you say the word, if, I can safely disregard whatever comes after it. And that is why you should stick to the facts, because basically, without facts, you are not dealing with nature. You're not dealing with the real world. That impacts you, affects your life, not affects you. Dang. Okay, so that's it for Blapps Talk this week. I'll see you next week. I'll just like to say this one little thing. You have been Blapsed. And Joel, I'm true. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace. Oh, what a wonderful world.